Welcome in part 10, which is final. Finally, this is the final video for the Kawoosh. So in the first part of this video, we will animate everything. And second part involves adding 2 additional effects to the event horizon material. So without further ado, let's jump straight to Blender.
Welcome to Digital Imposter.
So let's start animate this bad boy. Make sure you select the paddle, your paddle material is selected. First we will start is to change the names of some nodes. First this will be select the value node that controls our size for the opening, and let's call it, press F2, let's call it open. Okay, next node we will change is this one, circle. This circle is inner glow, so let's change its name to glow. To control those two, this emission and paddle mat over here, this emit strength, we will copy this value node, shift D, copy, connect this over here, change this to 2. Change this to 1, keep this one is value 2 because we want to control, and let's change this to emission. Emission strength. Okay, this one will not touch, and later we will touch. Oh, here we have opening 2. In the last video we forgot to change its name, so change this to transition. Okay, so now we are ready to animate. So we will start from the emission node. Okay, make sure your viewport, right, is set to material preview. So as you can see, when the Kawoosh is open or start opening, again, let's select this one. We are on the frame 25. So we start from frame 25 and we will work backward and then forward. Because I know on frame 25, when this starts, we need go to emission and set the value to 10. And when you set value 10, you see it's brighter, right? To 10. Press I. And when you select the emission nodes, yeah, this one, you will see we put the keyframes. So now go 3 keyframes earlier, 22. And set this to 2, press I to put new keyframes. And now from 25 to go to 28 and set to 2 and press I. This way we will create this kind of burst of energy when the gate is open. Okay. And the same we will do for the frames when Kawoosh hide. So let's go back to our Kawoosh. Let's go to the frame 81 and go to paddle, select our emission strength, set to 10, press I, 3 frames earlier, set to 2, I, and 3 frames later, set to 2 and press I. And as you can see, we will have this kind of boom, and when it should transition. Great. Now we will work on the glow the circle that controls the glow, right? And we will control the size value. So as you remember, on the frame 24, we don't see nothing. So let's start from the, let's select our Kawoosh. Let's go when it's the most exposed. Let's go to frame 50. Go back to our paddle. We are on the frame 50. And let's change this to 0.5. Okay. It fits over here. So press I. So now we have to go back to value 25 because it's the moment when the Kawoosh is showing, right? This burst of energy, and change this to 0.65. We want this circle right now, small one. Okay, great. So when we are on frame 50, I want to keep this glow for one extra frame. So when we are 500, press I. And if I remember correctly, 81 is a frame when the Kawoosh is hiding. So we want to go back to 0.65 and press I. So let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks good. It's growing and shrinking, right, with the Kawoosh effect. And we have those two burst moments. Okay, great. So another effect we will now control is the opening, right? So let's select the puddle. Let's go to the frame 25. We have this glow. So we need 24 to be 1. Okay, press 1 I to put the keyframe. And because I have 24 frames per second animation, right? Here. So for me, 1 second takes 24 frames. So then I will go to frame number 1 and put this to 0. And press I. So when I animate this, get this opening, energy, and shrinking. Okay, so now we're going to the transition. So frame 81, Kawoosh is hiding, and this is the time when we should control the size of our transition. So press here 1. Excuse me, on frame 81, press I on the size, and then also we need 24 frames 1 second, so it will be 105 to open, and set this to 0. Hi, I know you see the transparent here, but behind this should be the event horizon material. So we have this one, so let's see how everything looks together. Opening, burst, open, hide, burst, and transition to event horizon. Perfect, everything looks great. So now let's add few burst energy to our Kawoosh. So change to the material of the Kawoosh, select the Kawoosh of course, and let's go to material. Okay, so what we will control is this emission strength plus this one, because as you can see we put 10. Let's see when it's the whole one. Okay, so we want to the burst in the front, right? Let's put to 3. This one is 10, so it's glowing outside those, right? 3. And also this one, but we don't want to 10, we want to have 7 to make it this one. So 1. So we are going control those 3 emissions because those two have the same value. We will create the Shift A value node. Right? And we will put 3 and change its name to energy. Connect this to the string, connect this one to the string, and if we control those both, put 10, it's working. Why? So let's animate this. So I know when the stargates open, okay, because here our model is hiding, so that's why it deselects. So here have to be this flash effect, right? So we will put 10, press I, and 3 frames later, 1, 2, 3, we going back to 3 and press I. And over here we have again 10, press I to put the frames 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and let's put 3 value here and I. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, and then this is hidden. Okay, so 81, so 81, 84, go back to 3, press I, and also here now we can see the Kawoosh, and 22, press 3, press I to keep consistent everything. Okay, so next value we will change is this one, emission. So if you remember 25th frame, this will go 7, press I, we will go here, we will go back to 1, press I to put the frames, and we will go here, press I because we don't want to change anything, right? And we will go to this frame 81 and press change to 7, put I, and now we will add in case E, and here 20, 21, 24, 25 minus 3, 22, and 1. So let's see how it looks. Great, looks great. Small things, but when they work together, it gives the best result. Before we start part 2, I would like to ask you to subscribe and like this video and press the notification ring bell. So let's jump now to the part 2. So let's start from creating the closing effect, and because it will be quite fast and straightforward. So let's go to paddle. If you don't see nodes, press A, they will be selected, and press the period button on your numerical keyboard, and you will be transferred. So what we will need is opening 1 and opening 2, right? And we will copy all of those nodes. So Control C, copy. Let's go back to horizon. Control, if you don't see, our mesh is over here. Control V, we got over here. Move this here. So let's delete this open value node because it will cause troubles later. So let's add new one, Shift A, value node, because I don't know why when we copy, maybe we should duplicate, but when we copy the keyframes also with this opening node, and it will mess our animation track. So it's going to the size, and let's call it close. Okay, so let's go here. Our value here is this value that drives the noise effect. So let's put here hashtag frame. Perfect. So opening, so close, transition. Transition. And this one, let's call it close or closing emission. Emission. Okay. So next thing we are going to add is Shift A mix shader twice, because this is one for this, Shift D for this circle, and another is for this circle. Plug over here, perfect. Let's add more space. So transition is going over here, emission is going over here. Let's add transparent BSDF. We can plug over here. Let's add emission over here. We can plug this one over here. Let's change value to 10. Let's make a little bit more space, and we don't see it because it's 0. So when we set this to 1, it will be fully open, and if we translate, we have this effect. Perfect. So before we finish this part, we add another node called mix add shader. Perfect. And we will add their emission. Let's set right now to 0 and plug over here. So why are we adding this emission here? Because when the stargates are closing, right, they have this kind of burst of energy before they are closed, and we will set this then to 10 and go back to this one. So before we start animate this, when we have those white values for emission, make sure go to hex and type I will zoom it so you could see more clear. Yeah, it's showing in shitty position. Let's put this here, yeah, and add this value DBDCEA for the color, and the same value we can copy over here. Perfect. So let's animate this. So I want the stargate be closed, fully closed, right, on the frame 64. Let's put this value 0 and I, right? Perfect, we have. And then I want open this frame, the stargate on the frame 142, and let's put this to 1. So now we have animation that the gate will close. Perfect. So that's not all, because now we have to animate this emission, this energy emission. So 42 frame is opening, it's closing, so I want to do it before that. So opening, it starts on frame 42, 43. So I will go to frame 43 and set the value of this one to 3.5. 3.5, yeah, 3.5. And press I. And before for 4 frames, yeah, 4 frames, let's 39, I will put 0 because I want create this subtle effect of building of energy before it will burst, right? So we have this kind of gentle building of energy, 43, and now when it starts to closing 2 frames later, I will set this to 10, so we could like have this power of full white color. And now when it's closing, because it's closing on the frame 64, it's fully. So on the frame 61, 60, you can 60, 61, let's choose 60. Put this eye also here. And then on 64, we will put 0. So let's see how it looks like. Ah, perfect. Looks cool. Build in. Okay, great. And also, if you accidentally copy too many nodes from that one setup, we can just delete those nodes, because actually we don't need those. And we can move this over here. G. Great. So let's see if nothing broken. If it looks everything cool. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, amazing. So let's start create the effect when the Stargate transition. Here should be the wave effect that opens after the transition happens, right? Those waves going from inside to outside. So we will create this wave effect inside our Event Horizon node group. So let's enter inside and we will create this over here. So let's start from adding the Shift A wave, no, not this one, not wavelength, wave texture, Shift A, wave texture. Perfect. Let's zoom in and let's set a few things. So instead of bands, change to rings. Is from X to spherical. Let's see what's going on here. And those values here, let's change to 0.2. Okay, so first of all, to know what is going on here, we have to add the coordinates node object, because we want this to grow from center, right? Perfect. So saw scale 0.25. Yeah, it's great. Distortion 1. Yeah, because we want subtle distortion. Detail keep 2. Detail scale 1. And detail roughness 0.5, and we will animate this phase offset set to 0. So let's start animate our phase offset. Like always, we will start from math node. We will need 2 of them. One will be if I remember, will be direction, if I remember, right? Yeah, direction. Retro. This will be speed, wave speed. So this one is going over here. I'm guessing it will be -1. Knows, we will see. Here we will multiply by some amount of frames, but right now connect this one. We need value node, value node, and put here hashtag frame. Perfect. Plug this over here, and of course not add, but we need change this to multiply, and this one to divide. So let's see very fast. So let's change to 16, to a little bit too slow. 8. Okay, we have our puddle right now. We don't need it. We can turn off from our viewport view. So let's see the animation. So maybe 4. No, 8. Let's right now keep at 8. You can adjust by yourself what more suitable for you. So next thing, we are going to change scale. I want have 4 of them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. But the white one are waves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see again. Okay, disable our puddling. Kawoosh also. We don't want to see this. Kawoosh. So again. Yeah, it looks great. So let's adjust this gradient. Shift A, search for color ramp. Okay, great. Add another flag, change this to white because we want to create more smooth. Transition this going to black. Yeah, it's, you can see we have this kind of cool effect. So change this again to 0.5. Yes, this is what I want. And from linear we can change to B-spline to make it more smooth. So next thing we are going to add is mix RGB and change this to black. And this will, with this value, I hope we will control when we see the waves and we don't see the waves. Okay, 0.5, so we have some idea. Can we clamp? Let's see. Okay, from 1 to 0. Clamp returns the value that are between 0 and 1. We will not go above those or below those values. 0.5. Great. So we have animation. We have our that our waves are located in the center. Great. So now we will add to our bump. Shift A, vector map or map. Perfect. Put this over here. And before we add here, Shift A, add the bump node. Perfect. And add over here. And let's see our glossy material, how it looks with those waves. Can we see those waves? Yeah, we see. Very gentle. And let's see the animation again for this. Yeah, looks great. So multiply this. Shift A, vector map, because it's too weak. Even if we set this to maximum here, when we see and we don't see, right? Still too weak. So Shift A, vector map. Let's plug this. Don't like this moved. Keep everything in a row. Great. So we have vector math, and we can multiply everything, not by 0, but by 10. Oh, and strength. Yeah, this is too strong. Okay, so restrict the animation from 80 to 160 will be better. 80. Ah, it looks great. Looks great. This is what we want. So also we will need the same, because if I remember, it will not look as good if we don't add this effect also over here. Yeah, it's not so strong. So we have bump and multiply already here. So what we need to add here is another Shift A vector math node. Set to add. Perfect. Sure. So let's add this over here. Do we see? Yes, we are seeing this. So let's change this to 5. Too strong. 3. Yeah, it looks great. This is what we need. Awesome. It looks awesome. And if we change this, we can make them disappear when it's finishing. Right. Now let's expose this to our output group. Select this one, Control D. Let's copy. Let's drag this over here and let's expose our factor. This will be our mask, so transition. Wave transition. Transition. Let's plug this over here. Press N to see the menu on the right, and we can change already now to not this one. Select here and the name here and wave mask. Mask. Okay. Now we have direction. If we want to go inwards, then you can do it. So this one will be direction, wave, direction, and wave speed. Wave speed. I pressed the wrong one. Wave speed. So let's change to 0. Change back to 0 and 165, and let's see everything together how it looks. Let the compile. We didn't puddle. Show the puddle, right? Let's see. Going like this, hiding, transition. Something went wrong. Ah, of course, because we exposed the value, so we have to go outside. I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot the scale. You want the wave scale. Let's put this higher next to the that scale and call this wave scale. Okay. So go back to on the top. We can delete the keyframe from, because it's from old memory. Okay. So let's see how it works again. Okay. Now the speed doesn't work Oh yeah, because we didn't expose this value, right? We don't have to. Okay, again, delete the driver, put the new driver, hashtag frame. Great. So if we exit, everything should work fine. Okay, well, let's see. Transition, we see the waves. Okay, great. And we will animate our mask to make it disappear. Okay. What happened? What just happened? Obviously. Let's see again. Transition, we have see the waves, they will disappear and done. So let's go back to this part. So when we see the waves, when everything disappear, it's 105. Okay, so now our mask, wave mask, okay, we will put on 0, press I, and 24 frames later, 200 I, we will put 2-1, disappear. Okay, great. And let's see. So that's all for the Kawoosh, this long series, how to create Kawoosh and Kawoosh effect. I hope you enjoyed. Let's go to the outro. So thank you very much that you stick to this series for a long time and you had enough patience to finish this with me. One more time in the end, I want to ask you to like and subscribe and press the notification ring bell. So that's all. I will see you in the future in the next one. Bye bye.